Hi everybody, it's Psychic Medium Carla, and today I want to start talking about, because I think I'm going to do a couple videos on this. I want to start talking about crystals. I've had a few people ask me to do videos on crystals, so I'm going to go ahead and start. First thing I want to talk about is care of crystals. Now, if anybody has any questions about anything specific related to crystals, drop a comment and I'll either do a video on it or I'll just answer the question if I can. Now, by no means am I an expert on crystals. I am not. I use them every day. I have been collecting, gathering, keeping crystals for almost 40 years. Some of the crystals that I have, I started getting at the age of 12, 13. So I've got a lot of crystals that I've had for almost 40 years that I've never gotten rid of. Now, I started getting into crystals at a very young age, and I started with a little pouch of crystals, and I would get more and more, and then the bag would get bigger and bigger, and I would take these crystals with me everywhere, pretty much. I wanted to take them all with me all the time. Later on, I realized, okay, just take a couple, but that took years, okay, years. Or when I started driving, I'd keep a whole crystal bag in my car. But anyways, I don't want to get off the subject or get into a different lane. So the first thing I want to talk about is care of crystals. What should you do when you first get a new crystal? So the first thing you should do when you buy a new crystal and you bring that baby home is clean it. People buy crystals and they don't realize sometimes that it needs to be cleansed. That crystal has had a very long journey to get to you. So it's touched a lot of hands, it's been in a lot of places, so it's got a lot of different vibrations and energy on it. So you want to make sure that that crystal is clean before you start using it. So one of the easiest things to do is to get a bowl. I like getting a clear bowl or a white bowl, filling it with filtered water, and put some sea salt in it. Drop your new crystal or crystals in that bowl. Let it sit for a few hours. Now, there are some crystals that shouldn't be submerged in water because if they're not a polished crystal, they might be flaky or have pieces fall off. And case in point, right here. This is a chunk of tourmaline. Now, I keep this by my bed at night. Tourmaline is excellent for absorbing negative energy and keeping you safe and protected. I carry a piece of tourmaline with me everywhere I go. I had a bracelet given to me by a friend as well that has broke. I'm sure you're watching this, so D. Yes, my bracelet, my tourmaline bracelet broke. But hopefully I'll fix it. Anyways, tourmaline, it's raw. This isn't a polished piece. So if you stick this underwater, it might flake off. So, and I think I'm not going to get into too much into individual crystals today and what they do. I mean, there are so many crystals that do so many different things. I'm just going to do a very basic thing today, starting off with the cleansing and care. Okay, and I'll show you some of my crystals as well. So you do that, you get your water, you put some sea salt in it, and you submerge it for a few hours. Take it out, rinse it under the sink, let running water, put it out to dry in the sunlight. I like to let them dry naturally. If you want to charge them, leaving them out in the sun to dry is a good way to do that. Just put them out in the sun. It doesn't even have to be direct sun if they're going to dry, but if you want to get that sun energy, then I would put them out in the direct sun. I know amethyst should not get a lot of direct sunlight. It makes the color fade, or it can make the color fade. I put mine out. It doesn't seem to do anything. I've got a lot of different amethysts. I even have almost 100-pound chunk of amethyst geode on the island in my kitchen, which I might have shown you in another video, I'm not sure. But that is a good way to clean them. Water, sea salt, let them sit, as long as they're ones that can be submerged. Another good way to clean them is good old-fashioned sage. You get your sage and you sage it. I like to do combinations of clean it in the water and sage. Now, there are crystals that clean other crystals, and if you put that crystal in the bag with the other crystals, it will cleanse. It's self-cleansing, okay? You can also bury them in the dirt. So go in your backyard, you make a little hole, you put it in there, leave it there, take it out, it's clean. So what do you do after you clean it? I would charge. I like charging, again, in the sun and in the moon. I like to charge under a full moon. That doesn't mean that you can't charge during other phases of the moon. Depends on what you're going to use the crystal for. If you're going to use it like in a specific ritual or a specific a spell or a specific cleanse or something, you might want to tweak your energizing. It depends. It's a personal preference. So I like to charge in the sun and in the moonlight. I like to have both those energies in there. After that, I sleep with my crystal. I put my new crystal in my pillow. That way, the energy of the crystal and my energy, they blend. And the crystal knows my energy, will learn my energy. And it knows I'm its mama. That's my crystal. You're going to work for me. You're my baby. And then your energy is blended. Now, if the crystal is too big, like that tourmaline I just showed you, okay, then I would put it under the bed or next to your bed, like on a dresser or, a nightstand or whatever. I do that for about a week. After you've done all those things, that crystal's ready to rock. Again, ready to rock, is ready to go, is ready to work for you. Crystals are good for so many different things. Now, there are people that are skeptical and they don't believe that crystals do anything. And more than likely, if you don't believe, you're not going to be buying crystals and that crystal's not going to work for you. Crystals enhance things. They're great for healing. They're great for emotional healing, for physical healing. They're good for so many things. They're good for when you're doing readings to help amp up your energy, to help ground you. They're good for so many things. It's ridiculous. It really is. Now, after you've done the bonding thing with your crystal, then you can put it in your rotation, meaning you're going to carry so many crystals a day, depending on what your mood is. Then that's the crystal that you're going to grab. Like, okay, I'm going to grab 2-3 crystals for today. You can put it in rotation with your other crystals. Now, crystals I use when I am doing a healing session, like Reiki or quantum touch. I use crystals. I incorporate crystals into that. You can do crystal grids as well, or you build a grid and you put your patient or your client in the middle. You can make a crystal grid around your animals. You can make a crystal grid around you. Crystals are good for a lot of things. They've been around for a very long time. So there's a book called The Crystal Bible. Anybody that is into crystals, I highly advise you to buy this book. It has literally every crystal, almost every crystal is in this book. It has its properties and what it does. Because again, there's different crystals for different things. And a lot of the crystals share a lot of common properties, okay? Now, I don't know the name of every single crystal that's in the universe. I don't, but I know that there are some people that do. and they just remember all that. I am not the Crystal Bible by any means, okay? I'm just somebody who's been collecting and working with crystals since I was a kid. Since I was a kid. Crystals will speak to you. They will. They'll speak to you. You'll know which one to gravitate to. And wearing crystal jewelry is an awesome way to incorporate crystals into your life. I do not leave home without this amethyst. This amethyst is on a very long silver chain, and that amethyst lands right on top of my heart chakra. Now that helps to shield me from attachments, negative energies, negative vibrations. With that being said, I know I've said this before, nothing is 100%. They work as filters. Everything that we do to keep our aura safe from attachment, safe from negative energy and negative vibrations, everything works as a filter. It helps to block us. For some people, it might work at 100%, but for people like me or other people that are sensitive, that are mediums, that are psychics, healers, empaths, whatever, these things merely work as a filtration system. It's a filter system. It will help filter out things that might attach to us, or energies or vibrations that might attach to us, or whatever. It's not 100%, but it helps a lot, okay? It does. It helps a lot. So every morning when I put my clothes on, I get this, and it stays on until I go to sleep. And it doesn't matter if I'm just hanging out in a t-shirt that's got a bunch of holes in it, or if I'm dressed for a client or whatever. I always put my amethyst on. And if I leave the house and I forgot to put it on, guess what Carla does? Carla stops and says, nope, I got to go back in. I forgot my amethyst. And I'll go in and I'll get it. Okay. Simba had a custom collar made out of crystals. It's blue and there's crystals all around it. He got it when he was about 2, I think. Almost all the crystals have fallen off. Now, people think that when you lose a crystal, if a crystal breaks or whatever, that means you don't need it anymore. Well, I don't know if that's the case for him or not, because he's a dog, he's a dog, and, it's a collar, playing and running and everything. But yeah, Simba wears crystals. There's still a few crystals left on that collar. Somebody made it for him. So, if you're just starting your crystal journey, I recommend the Crystal Bible. Do not forget to clean whatever crystal you get and you bring home. Clean it, energize it, and bond with it. Water, sea salt, let it sit for a few hours. Sunlight, moonlight. Sleep with your crystal. Either in the pillow, under your bed, or on your nightstand. Another way to clean, again, is sage. Dig a hole, put it down in the dirt. You can even get holy water and clean it. Clean it with sound. You can give your crystal Reiki. If you're a Reiki master, if you're a Reiki practitioner, Reiki your crystal. That will clean it as well. I usually cleanse it in a couple of different ways. That's just me. And if you're just starting and you don't know what crystal to start with, I suggest you start with the clear quartz crystal. Here is a clear quartz crystal. This crystal is a master healer. This crystal will help amplify every single crystal that you own or that you pair it with. So if you get a bloodstone and a clear quartz, the clear quartz is going to amplify the bloodstone. So there you go. Crystals 101. Now, again, if somebody, now here's a rose quartz, sorry. Here's a rose quartz. If you want me to talk about specifics with certain crystals or you have any questions, please just leave a comment. And because I'm going to do another video about crystals, this was just on cleansing and charging and bonding pretty much. So I'll do like a little series on crystals. On the next video, I'll show you some of my other crystals, like the giant amethyst I have. I have another geode here, and I'll show you some of my wands and stuff. But yeah, if anybody has any questions about anything specific, please just leave a comment. If you have an idea for one of the crystal videos, leave a comment and let me know what it is, or email me if you want to. Doesn't matter, it doesn't have to be a public comment. So the next video I'm going to do about crystals will be I'm going to take a couple of the crystals and I'm going to explain what some, what some are good for, maybe what you can use certain crystals for and such. But this is, for cleaning and charging. And yeah, crystals rock, man. I love crystals. All right, so until next time, I hope you guys have a good weekend, because it's coming. And until next time, let me put this thing up. All right. Ciao.